Okay, let's sprint to Pacifidlog as fast as that Milotic is going to allow us to. And, of course, there are going to be lots of random battles, and as usual, I will not be skipping them. So if you have a problem with that, well, it's not my problem, it's yours! Oh, man, Protect. I hate Calipers because of this. They always seem to do Protect, and it never accomplishes anything other than stalling for time. Anyway, they have revealed how Zoroark's illusion ability was going to work, and it was something that I really wanted to talk about because it's really interesting. The way it works is that when you send out... Oh, trainer here to dodge. Okay, now this is done. Another one. Okay, random battle. So yeah, how this is going to work is that when you're going to send out Zoroark, it's going to take on the shape of the second Pokemon in your party. Of course, this raises the question of what happens if the second Pokemon in your party is dead, or even better, what if the second Pokemon in your party is Zoroark? What happens then? So, of course, there are still many things that we don't know for sure, but Illusion does look like it has... Oh, come on, run! Okay, I thought I was gonna get caught by that trainer there. And, okay, another one. Swimming around that rock. Alright, so another one done. So yeah, there are still many things we don't know about Illusion, but the fact remains that you still have a certain degree of control over what your Zoroark is going to turn into. So for fun, I looked up what would be the best Pokemon for Zoroark to turn into, and that would be Gengar, because Zoroark has 2 resistances and an immunity. Psychic, and the immunity that is, and the 2 resistances to Ghost and Dark. Gengar is weak to all 3 and nothing else. So Gengar would be ideal to bait those Psychic, Ghost, and Dark attacks onto Zoroark, and then boom! It's not very effective, or it does nothing at all. So Zoroark gets a free turn to do whatever it wants to. Of course, there's the problem of the fact that we don't know how to dispel the illusion. Is it just by taking a hit? If so, then Zoroark won't be able to switch into any kind of offensive hit, so that means its ability is going to be completely useless because the illusion will be shattered before it has a chance to do its thing. So that means there are still too many things we don't know to know if Illusion is really going to be that good or not. It's got potential, but it's all going to come down to the fine print. It always comes down to the fine print. It could be completely worthless, or it could be so godly it's sent to Ubers. It all depends on that. And it's also going to be a great test of just how much the player pays attention to what's going on in the battle. For example, if you see a Salamence that takes neutral damage from Stealth Rock, well, don't ask yourself the question, it's not a Salamence, it's a Zoroark. Same thing if you see... What?! Where'd she come from?! That's not fair! Well, I guess I couldn't avoid them all, and, you know, it's only one trainer. It's not what's gonna make the difference in the end between Regice being overleveled or not. So, I'm not really going to complain about that. But, yeah, I was about to say if you see a Salamence affected by spikes or toxic spikes, it's not a Salamence, and heck, transforming into Salamence would be a very bad idea, because if you see a Salamence that doesn't have Intimidate, it's obviously going to be a Zoroark, because I don't think Illusion is going to emulate the ability, because Illusion only changes the appearance and the name of the Pokemon, and that's absolutely it. So, regardless of how it turns out, I get the feeling that Illusion's mechanics are going to be much more complex than those of any currently existing ability. So it's good to see that Game Freak is trying to invent more elaborate concepts, so they're not really running of ideas. That argument, I think, has never really been true for anything in the series. So I'm really looking forward to how this is going to turn out. And speaking of abilities, nope. That path there, I believe, was the path that leads to the Sky Pillar. Can't go to the Sky Pillar yet, so that's why I'm going to be heading down a little bit. So, speaking of abilities, they revealed the abilities for Reshiram and Zekrom. Reshiram is going to have Turbo Blaze, and Zekrom is going to have Terra Voltage. That's the name of the abilities. We don't know what they do for now, but there's a rumor going around that Zekrom's ability, given the name Terra Voltage, might be that it could bypass the ground immunity to electric with its own electrical moves, which would be fairly awesome, except for the fact that it's also Dragon type. That kind of ability would be useful for mono electrics that don't have any other source of stab, but Zekrom does, and it's the awesome Dragon type. Yeah, because that's something else. They revealed the second types for Reshiram and Zekrom, and we just got the Pacifidlog, so it's going to wait for a little while. Oh yeah, this old man at the right of the screen looks if Mirage Island is visible today, which is not, because if it was visible today we would have seen it on the way here. And Mirage Island, what it is, it's just an island that very rarely appears. I never got it to appear at all, and I don't know if you guys did, but it's totally not worth it. The only Pokemon that you can find there is Wobbuffet, and I already got that Why Not egg from that old lady in Lava Ridge, and I think you can find Wobbuffets in other places. I believe the Safari Zone, but I'm not 100% sure on this. Oh, and I think this guy here wants to trade. Oh yeah, he wants to trade his Horsey for what? For a Bagon? Are you kidding me? A Bagon for a Horsey? That's a serious downgrade, man! Not desperate to make a trade or anything. Well, you should, because Bagon over Horsey, it's an upgrade for you, it's a downgrade for me. Come on. Okay, oh yeah, the sea between Pacifidlog and Slateport has a... oh yeah, if you've played this game, you know exactly what she's talking about, and it's quite an irritating puzzle, but only because it spans for so long. If you want to fight every trainer, get every item, then you're going to need to go through routes 132, 33, 34 several times, and we're going to go through it at least once to get to the Regis. Hopefully I can get it on my first try. And what I was about to say about Reshiram and Zekrom, yeah, those their second types. Reshiram is going to be Dragon Fire. Yeah, we finally have our Dragon Fire, but it doesn't look anything like a typical Dragon Fire. Of course, thank God, else it would probably be something like a Charizard clone. And Zekrom is going to be Dragon Electric. Now for the Pokemon of Light and Darkness, those are pretty odd typings, especially Zekrom. I expected it to be Dragon Dark or something like that. And the fact that Reshiram doesn't have a Light type pretty much destroys any hope in the future of there ever being a Light type. So, at least that's something we can pretty much take for granted. But what bothers me about those typings... Oh, this is an explosion move tutor, isn't it? Yep, it is. And I'm not going to take you up on your offer because I was planning on giving Regice Explosion, but I can just use the move relearner to do that with a Heart Scale. I picked up a Heart Scale in the last video, so that takes care of the whole problem. And while I'm here, I'm going to pick up Wailord and Relicanth. I'm gonna... Come on! No! Come on! I'm having more problem with the menu than I did with catching a Relicanth. Wow. And, okay, Tropius can go for now. I'm not gonna need it. And I guess Relicanth is going to replace Blaziken, especially in a watery area like this. And yeah, what gets me about Reshiram's and Zekrom's typings is that Reshiram is going to get along with Groudon really well, and same for Zekrom and Kyogre. So what's probably going to happen in the Generation 5 Uber metagame is that it's going to be centered around Kyogre and Groudon even more than they already are. As this guy talks about the Regis, but that's nothing we don't know. We're going to be catching them in not too long. And once again, there's some reference to the Regis. 6 dots open 3 doors. Probably a reference to Braille. Braille, which is instrumental in hiding the Reggies away. But we're going to be taking care of that next time. Sorry!